This is some of the Cheeseburger Podcast you will listen to. Hello, and welcome back to the third episode of the classic podcast series, Bob the Cheeseburger Podcast. Here we are officially back, and it's almost been a year of blank action. I know, very depressing, but we are indeed back. Now, here's what we need to talk about. We need to talk about Grandma Spickles. Grandma Spickles has been getting a lot
of hate comments.
But there are also people who are like, this podcast is worse than a chicken nugget that had a dump taken on it. But there are also people who support this because they know that this is they're like, no, madame, this is odd. Madame, you look as wiggly as Grandma Spickles. Wee. But alas, there are many things that we need to discuss. For example, there are not enough games that you run around as a fat chef who's running to collect things like cheese, pepperoni, and toenails. We need more fat chefs running around in the metaverse. If we don't have that, our universe will collapse. Anyway, we gotta do this and wait. Huh? What do you mean? My assistant Jeremy keeps me on track. He doesn't like me talking about fat chefs because he knows that if he talks about it, then this is not gonna be good. The world is going to end. Yeah, Jeremy?
Mr. Bob the Cheeseburger, yeah, Jeremy here, yeah, you need to be on task. We need to talk about fruit roll-ups.
Here's the thing, Jeremy, I don't want to talk about fruit roll-ups. Jeremy wants me to talk about fruit roll-ups, you know why? Because he likes fruit roll-ups. And yeah, they're good, but fruit roll-ups? What kind of podcast talks about fruit roll-ups? Like, honestly, how many podcasts do you know that talks about fruit roll-ups? Zero.
Absolutely zero.
Anyway, we don't want to worry about that right now. You want to know what we do want to worry about? Video games. What are video games? Do they waste your time? Do they give you brain cancer? Probably. But you also want to know what else they give you? Fun, entertainment, lack of physical activity. And you know how much we do love lack of physical activity. You know why? Because exercise is hard. And we are drifting off into a society that wants to just sit around and have everything done for them. That is impossible, though. You want to know why it's impossible? Well, I know a professional who will actually know this. Because I don't. So here we go, we have a guest speaker, and I'm going to be introducing you to them. Alright, we're back. We got Bailey. Bailey is an expert on how our society is drifting toward potato chips and how everyone wants everything to be easy. You know, Bailey, come on, say a few words.
Thank you, James. I appreciate being here. So, yes, society is potatoes.
It's actually drifting off to become potatoes. Carry on.
Us as a society, we're so stuck in this thought of technology, and it's going to ruin our future. Thank you, James, for having me on your podcast.
And thank you, Bailey. Now, that was our guest speaker, Bailey. Now, Bailey knows a lot about this stuff. He studies this every single day. Actually, no, he doesn't. Bailey, what do you do with your life? What do you do with your life, Bailey?
Nothing.
He does nothing, so he is actually a perfect example for this. So, you know, our society. Bailey, you're gone. Guest speaker doesn't exist anymore. He is irrelevant now. Do not listen to him. He's going to kill my podcast. But you guys don't care about Bailey, do you? Bailey is just Bailey, and I'm Bob the Cheeseburger. The ultimate overlord. Sorry. Yeah, I should know better, Jeremy. Don't leak my entire evil plan. Anyway, you might like different video game genres. Like, you might like Lamp. Yes, Lamp is a genre, and it's about lamps. You might like action. You might like horror. Yeah?
How's it going?
It's going good, Benson. You want to be a guest speaker? Please ignore this jibber-jabbing. Cool. It is irrelevant. Cool. Thank you.
How's it going?
It's going good. So you want to sit here? We got another guest speaker rapidly evolving. We got Branson Pope. He was in my last stuff, if you actually care about real stuff, which is my stuff, by the way, and Branson, because Branson's cool. Now, Branson, what do you have to say about life turning into potatoes? Like, you know, people, like, we used to work hard. Our parents were like, oh, yes, on the farm, take a dump on the chickens. You know, they work hard, but now we're just sitting, looking at our phone, and being like, ooh, this guy is shoving a tomato up their butt.
I thought it was supposed to be a potato, though.
Yeah. But this time, what are your thoughts on where society is going, you know?
I think it's going to a good place. Maybe sometimes downhill, but even if it goes downhill, it goes right back uphill. And we figure out a way to fix it.
Yeah, I agree. It's just, I hope humanity doesn't turn into big balloons that have mostly water weight only. But, you know, yeah, I've been on this podcast for 6 minutes, and I haven't talked about video games once. Thank you, Branson. Okay, it's been 6 minutes. Right now, we need to just speed run. 1 minute speed one time ago. Video game. So we got Pizza Tower, right? And it's a really fun game. It's a really speed run-like game. And, you know, you run around, you get ingredients, and you kill ingredients and chefs. But Pizza Tower, you know, is really fun. Now I wanted to talk about video games here, but I haven't talked about like a single video game. Like a few genres, I've just gotten shy. And we're gonna get to 10 minutes, which we're supposed to do 5 minutes at minimum. So we need to talk about this. Pizza Tower, really fun, really hard. But you know what would make it better? Is the person sitting on my right now. They're pretty shy. So that's the end of it. So I also like Terraria, you know, it's a fun sandbox game, but I really, really like modding it, adding more content than it's supposed to, and then your computer, lasagna. Well then, that's interesting. And with that, the Bob the Cheeseburger Podcast number 3 is coming to a close. Let's hope this cheeseburger doesn't give you a tumor. Wait. Actually, second thought,
It probably will.
this podcast is sponsored by Pizza Tower and Terraria. Pizza Tower, it's a video game where you run around as a fat chef. You collect ingredients for your pizza because you are in debt. There's a giant pizza face that's going to blow up your restaurant. And if this happens, guess what? You won't have a restaurant. This is your whole life you're talking about. So you have to play Pizza Tower, or else the Fat Chef Peppino Spaghetti isn't going to have a restaurant anymore. This podcast is also sponsored by Terraria. Terraria is not 2D Minecraft. Everyone always says it is. But guess what? It came out before Minecraft. I know, crazy. It's a sandbox game, same genre, but it's not. You can splunker in the caves, you can mine ores, you can defeat all the bosses like a giant wall of flesh. Or Cthulhu's sibling, ? You can also craft a golden toilet. It's the purpose of the entire game. Visit it, I guess.
This is a Bob the Cheeseburger Podcast you will listen to.